Still looking at paper 1, oral skills. And the question says, assuming you've been invited for an interview, what are the things that you will do before the interview, during the interview, or after the interview? Some students generalize those things and they give them as if they apply everywhere. Now, we have things you can do before the interview. We have things that you can do during the interview. We have things you can do after the interview. Now, what will you do before the interview? Before the interview, you have to keep time. Arrive at the interview place in time. In time means something like 30 minutes to. On time means just exact time that you are told. The interview is starting at 8, you are arriving at 8. That's what we call arriving on time. But I'm talking about arrive in time. Keep time, that is arrive in time, like 30 minutes or an hour to the interview. That will give you time to actually relax and prepare yourself psychologically to start answering questions and familiarize yourself with the place. Number 2, get all the documents required in order before the material day. That's not something you do during the interview. You do that before the interview. Number 3, research about the institution or organization for which you are going to work or that has invited you for an interview. Don't just go there while you are blank. At least know a few things. Maybe what happens in the institution, why is it called the way it is called, how much they pay, so that when they ask you how much do you expect, you are able to at least say something that is related to what they wanted you to say. Then you have to rehearse before the interview. At least rehearse before a mirror before the interview. Those are answers for the question, what will you do before the interview? What will you do during the interview? And then you hear someone saying, I'll dress properly. Dressing properly is done before the interview. Grooming is always before the interview. So don't tell us that during the interview you are going to keep time, you are going to dress well. No, those are some of the things that you do before the interview. Now, during the interview, you have already been invited for an interview. You are at the interview place. What are you going to do? You will be audible during the interview. You will maintain eye contact during the interview. You will listen carefully to the questions and answer them carefully during the interview, that is. Avoid things like chewing. Avoid things like shuffling your legs on the floor. So you avoid such things. That is an answer. I will avoid chewing or shuffling my legs on the floor. Those are the things you do. You have to listen carefully to the and you have to answer questions. Then you have to give accurate answers. Try to be honest during the interview. But don't go there to dress. Sawa. You can also keep time during answering of the questions. If the question requires you to answer, if they require to answer the question in 2 minutes, make sure that you are using those 2 minutes to answer the question. And do not, or just avoid repeating yourself. Once you've already said it, you've said it. Don't again go back to say what you have already said. That's during the interview. After the interview, or after the interview, you have to thank the interviewers. You have to wait for them to tell you to go. And if you have any question, you can ask after the interview. Maybe, am I the person that you are looking for? From what we have heard, do you believe I'm able to deliver? Or am I the person you are looking for? Those are some of the questions you ask at the end of the interview. Thank you very much.